Hey, Dr. Hammer.
Hey.
This is our movie review for Inglorious Basterds. Overall, 2 thumbs up. Yeah,
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I've seen it before, but I definitely noticed like things that were a little, I don't know, that I wouldn't have noticed before. Like for instance, I felt like Shoshana, the Jew that remains, she like wears red a lot, or like if she's not actually wearing red, she'll be drinking like red wine or have like a booth behind her that's red. So we thought that would be like symbolism to like maybe the fact that she's going to like kill someone later on, or she's going to cause some sort of drama.
Yeah, and then going off of the color scheme, we noticed that a lot of people at the end of the movie that were in the theater obviously were wearing black, kind of symbolized their funeral almost, because she was wearing red and the entire theater was red, and the entire theater went up in flames, which is
Yeah, and you also noticed that the other Americans were wearing black, but then Brad Pitt was wearing white,
Mhm.
and then the lady, or that actress, she was wearing black, and we thought it was a funeral color, so we figured all three of them would die, but Brad Pitt would survive, which was true.
Yeah. In general, I really liked the way that the movie was set up in different chapters, because it was so long. It kind of helped with the flow and making sense of everything. So with the Unbroken, I felt there was so much going on. I kind of got confused.
Yeah. Although I feel like it was too long, personally.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I thought for the how long it was well written and
Yeah.
structured.
Although I'm unsure if it actually, I get the whole archetype, because it is these guys, these American guys, and it's their story is the most prominent, but I don't really know if that's the major one. We thought you could have easily argued good versus evil, and kind of the transitions of perhaps the Americans are just as evil as the Germans, because we realized that a lot of the times they both would be overkill in all of their things, the scalping, the places going up in flames, and then the Americans still are shooting them down.
Yeah, which we thought also was social commentary about how horrific war really is, and how even you kind of all think you're the heroes, but then they go in and it's just so inhumane and hard to watch. And then on top of that, because it was so overkill, I thought that a lot of times the cinematography was not very good. It was just so incredibly overkill.
There was sometimes it was
so
good,
fake.
When we the flick of the cigarette at the end.
But other times it was so explosions everywhere, and then the music would be super intense, and just sometimes the music was spot on, and then as the movie progressed, it got worse.
Yeah, in the
super
beginning,
cheesy.
It
yeah.
was, the first scene, it's the do 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 do, but then it doesn't go into the rest of the song, so it's clearly an anticipatory scene, but at the end it's clearly over dramatized, and I don't know. I didn't really like that. I will say that I like the arc for Han's character, because in the beginning it specifies that he really likes his nickname as being the Jew hunter. He's oh, well, it really fits me well, I like my nickname. But then at the end he's yeah, it's just a name that kind of stuck, so it can really show that he's arced as a character and realized that this position isn't that great, and he wants out of it.
Yeah. Going off of character arcs, I know that especially because it was a band of brothers, I didn't really personally see any of those brothers really make a character arc. They're kind of the same.
Brad Pitt doesn't.
Exactly the same in the beginning as they are at the end. They're just as gruesome and brutal, and want to do the exact same thing that they came there for. So I feel the main protagonist was actually
Hans.
Was that the girl that burnt down the?
Oh no, that was Shoshana.
Yeah, I feel she would be the main protagonist, because she's the one that takes
that's
action.
The biggest arc. Yeah, that's true. Something I did notice, I feel now that I mentioned the flick of the cigarette bud, I feel cigarettes or smoking was maybe the thread throughout it, because at the beginning they're smoking pipes, and the color red was there a lot. But the pipe in the beginning, kind of like that was there, and then throughout the movie they'll smoke at a lunch together, or she'll smoke. Shoshana will smoke on her own when Frederick comes in, and at the end it's the flick of the cigarette that causes this burning down in the cinema. So I could see that being a thread throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
Yeah. We really liked how the languages, and there's very not so subtle, but a lot of foreshadowing, and the languages were used like interchangeably depending on like who's present, and if you like knew a little bit more about the movie, like you understood like why they would do that, like to trick people and stuff.
Also, this is like a very small thing, but I thought it was really ironic that the person that was like Brad's supposed to know the most Italian,
Yeah.
but then Hans like makes him repeat his like name over and over. Like clearly he sucks at his accent.
Yeah.
And then the dude that's like second best Italian, he makes him repeat it. And then the guy that didn't know any Italian he's like, oh, good job, that was a really good accent.
Yeah.
So we thought that was funny.
And then the last thing that I guess we would talk about would be like how it was kind of like a feminist movie, because it was that girl like rising up, Shoshana, going up against the Nazis who killed like her entire family, which obviously like even at the end like the guy like shoves her, he's like, you can't like say that to like a man like me, and then like she goes ahead and like kills him, but he kills her, but still. And then like rising up against the Nazis, and then also like we said that she like had relations with the her black coworker, which was like not acceptable at the time, so that was also like her like rising against it,
like social like standards. Yeah, I will, and of course like you can argue that the actress who was a female was also like a feminist role, like her helping the Americans, well, attempting to help them, was like a feminist role for doing that. Although I don't know if this is too thinking into it deeply, but I feel like the scene where Shoshana kills Frederick, I think by her going over to him when he's grunting kind of shows that like females will always be like inferior to males. Like she's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe he's not so bad. Like by watching the film and him looking like regretful or sorrowful for what he did, and then he goes over and then she gets shot. So I feel like that kind of shows like men are still higher than women, even like if people try to rise against them.
Yeah.
I'm sure I forgot something, but
I guess just like that the main social commentary would be like, are we really better than like less guilty than those other people that did such horrible things, because they really did like equally violent from both sides.
Yeah, they were both very, very gruesome, and I would argue that we saw more like gruesome like killings from the Americans than were shown by the Germans, which is kind of surprising because we're supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah.
But it almost looks like they try to pin it on us. So yeah.
All right. We'll
That's
see you in class tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.